Good morning and Chodesh Tov to everyone. I'm amazed to see so many ladies coming here. Baruch Hashem, Ken Yirbu. It's very big Kiddush Hashem. I'm honored to be here this morning. And since we are a few days before Matan Torah, and I was warned not to speak too strong, so I have to speak about Matan Torah. I want to be happy now before Yom Tov. So with your permission, if you have questions, you feel free to ask. Now, in the middle of the lecture, after the lecture. After the lecture, you can follow me to the driveway here. I have many CDs for you, free of charge. You can grab as much as you can. And in hundreds of different topics, so please take advantage on that. We are a few days before Matan Torah, and there's one sentence in the Gemara that I would like to start with, and then it will give us some idea a little bit later on, what does it mean, Shavuot? Because as frum as we are, I have a feeling that most of us do not really understand what Shavuot means, and what really we got in Har Sinai. I know it sounds silly. Oh, come on, Rabbi, we're from 50 years, 40 years, 30 years. You want to tell us now that we don't even know what we got in Har Sinai? Soon you'll be surprised to see that the picture is not so clear as you may think. But this very interesting sentence the Chazal brings in the Gemara, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, Alevai ve'oti azvu ve'et torati shamaru. Mamash shocking. Hashem is saying, I wish they would leave me, but when they leave me, meaning once they decide to leave me, chas v'shalom, I just wish that they will continue to learn my Torah. It sounds like a big contradiction. What does it mean to leave Hashem and to learn Torah at the same time? Usually when you leave Hashem, you leave the Torah. That's the first thing you do. Meaning, if they go away in their musar, in their ethic, in the Yirat Shamayim, if they will continue to learn my Torah, I'm not worried. Why? It's just a matter of time that the Torah will bounce them back into the right track. Shema'or sheba machziram lamutav. The light of the Torah to the neshama brings back the person into the right track. Now I want to ask you a question, with your permission. There is two ways to describe the purpose of life. One according to the Rambam, one according to the Gaon Vilna. Of course they both emes. Kol divrei rabotenu emet. Sometimes they speak from different angle. There are two ways to look at life. One is, Hashem gave us the Torah. What's the purpose of giving us the Torah? To keep mitzvot. What's the purpose of keeping mitzvot? It will make us better human beings. Kabed et avicha v'et imecha, feel bad for the poor, have mercy on the widow, all these things that the Torah teach. So step one, I'm giving you the Torah. In order for you to keep my mitzvot, you have to learn Torah. Based on learning, you're going to know how to keep the mitzvot. Now when you keep the mitzvot, it will make you a better human being, which is the purpose of life. That's one shita. The other shita is, you have to learn Torah, that the Torah will melt your yetzer hara, will purify your neshama and clean all the spiritual dirt from it, in order for you to be able to keep the mitzvot. So the mitzvot is the tachlit. So which one of the two makes more sense to you? I'm sorry that I'm asking it. I mean, it's the words of the giant Chachamim, the Rambam, the Gaon Vilna, but we are entitled to think a little bit, no? So which one of the two makes more sense to you? First, I have to learn Torah that will teach me how to keep the mitzvot, because without learning, en amar, it's chasid. If you don't learn Torah, you don't know anything. So the more you learn, the more you know how to practice the mitzvot in the right way, in the right time, in the right measurement. There's a lot of things here. It's conditions, how to keep mitzvot. L'shem shamayim, Torah lishma, mitzvot l'shem shamayim. You know, so I have to learn Torah because it will teach me Tariag mitzvot, whatever applies today. Most of them does not apply today. There's hundreds of mitzvot that it's only in the time of Bet HaMikdash. All kinds of sacrifices, mastot, trumot, in time of Leviim, Kohanim, doesn't apply today. But what applies today, in order for me to be able to know how to keep the mitzvot, and once I keep the mitzvot, I give meiser, I give tzedakah, I help people in trouble, you know, I pray, I'm becoming a grateful person. So eventually the Torah will make me a better human being, will make me correct my midot. So tikkun midot, that's really the purpose. That's the shita of the Gaon Mivilna. The Rambam say, if you learn Torah, the Torah is antibiotic. I use my own words, if you realize, you know, the Rambam didn't know what antibiotic means. He didn't have it yet. So the Torah, it's like a spiritual antibiotic. It cleans the neshama from all the dirt of the sins that we make, which makes, according to Kabbalah, klipot, layers on the neshama, and block the light of the Shekhinah. Because, you know, just to give you an idea, the neshama, it's a spark of Hashem. Chelek Eloah Mimal. It's written in Bereshit, Vayitzer Hashem Elokim et ha'adam afar min ha'adama, vayipach be'apav nishmat chaim, vayya adam lenefesh chaya. 3 steps. Hashem formed Adam in the shape of a human being, as we know, and then he blew into his nostrils a living, divine soul, just like you put air in a balloon. And after that divine energy, a spark of Hashem went into Adam's body, the body became alive. And then Neshama revived the body constantly. Everything that we say, we move, we remember, we function, it's all the Neshama. Once a person dies clinical death for 5-10 minutes, and then the Neshama comes back into the body, the 10 minutes that he was dead, no pulse, no brain waves, no, you can even burn him with a cigarette, he won't even make a beep, because the neshama is not in the body. But once the neshama enters right back into the body, he begins to scream. Why you remember to scream after 10 minutes? I burned you 10 minutes ago. Because now I feel it, because once the neshama goes in, it makes the entire nerve system function. When the neshama is out, the body is complete, but unable to do anything. So we see that everything is the neshama, everything. The body in a chemical lab worth less than a slice of pizza. If you want to buy the ingredients of our body, you know, iron and oxygen and water and all these minerals that the body is made from, $3. When I started to give lectures 24 years, it was less than $1. But there's some inflation here, you know. So now it's $3. But everybody understands, if chas v'shalom is a tragedy, you don't sue for $3. All right? The stamps, just to send the lawsuit, costs more than $3. So what's the point? Everybody understands, a person is a neshama. So once Hashem blew this neshama into the human being, he became alive. Now he's alive. The Chazal say, Ruach memalela. You're able to talk, to remember, to function. We're different than the animals. What is the main difference between us and the animal? What's the difference? But some animals speak. You know, some parrots, they say, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos. How are you? Yeah. I even know one parrot that made a Baal Tshuva. Serious. He ran away from his owner, which was a Haredi human, you know, a person. He was a Reform Jew. And a secular Israeli found that parrot. And every Shabbat, when Shabbat comes, he used to scream, Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. And this Chiloni started to say, what, this parrot is more religious than me? I started to get into the religion. Then he gave back the parrot and said, your parrot made me a Baal Tshuva. It's a true story, it's not a joke. So, what happened here? So the neshama goes into the body, and the neshama, it's like I give you just the parable for you to get it. It's like you have your phone and you have the charger. Now once you plug the charger into the phone gets alive, right? It was on zero, the light comes back and it begins to get some energy. What happens when you disconnect? It's dying out. So the body needs food. Once you eat food, the body is functioning. It can be very healthy, you eat all the vitamins, no problem. But you can be very healthy physically, but chas v'shalom can be totally dead spiritually. Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi gave a beautiful mashal about the body and the soul. He said that the body and the soul, it's like the male rooster and the female chicken. You know, it's a very wonderful relationship. So he said that the female chicken is the body of the human being. And the male, it's the soul. What is the difference between the male and the female? I'll tell you what's the difference. If you own male and female, what do? Every day you take few seeds of wheat or barley, you throw it on the floor, and they come and they eat. What happens if you forget a day or two to feed them? So the male, he walks depressed, like this, then he falls and dies. Now one beep. Not screaming, help, I'm hungry, what's going on here, nothing. You don't give food for the female chicken for a few hours, your entire house is destroyed. The Gemara says, mehades, flying, knocking down things, making noise, food! So Rabbi Yosef say, if you don't feed the body 6 hours, headache, Yom Kippur, 2 o'clock, everyone looks at the clock, no? When we're going to be able to eat our bagels. So what happened? The body does not want to cooperate after X amount of hours that you don't eat. Headache, I'm hungry, you lay down, you don't want to move. It's very hard. But the neshama, you can go 7 years without feeding it, and the neshama doesn't make a beep. Nothing. 7 years, person function, everything can be totally secular, not keeping anything, and the neshama is dead already for 7 years, and the person does not even feel it. If the body is hungry, you feel it right away. If the neshama is hungry, you can go like this for 20, 30, 40 years, and you don't even feel it. And it's written clearly in the Navi Yecheskel and in the Torah. It's written in the Torah, if you're going to keep my mitzvot, that you should live. That's a very big question. What do you mean, Hashem? If I'm going to keep your mitzvot, I will live. What about the people who do not keep your mitzvot? The non-Jews or the secular Jews who do not keep mitzvot, they're not alive? They live, they make money, they eat, they enjoy life. So what does it mean if you're going to listen to me and keep my mitzvot, you're going to live? So from here we see that in the eyes of Hashem, life is different than what we are used to. Life, when Hashem speaks in the Torah about the life of a human being, it's only spiritual life. 100% spiritual life, because physically we're dead from the minute we are born. From the minute we are born, the battery begins to die. We have X amount of years, some of us 80 years, some of us 20 years. The battery is determined for X amount of years. So from the minute we come to the world, we begin to die actually. We are not gaining life. We are actually, every day that passes, life becomes shorter. That's why I never understood why people celebrate birthdays. But it's so happy about it. Your battery just went to 90, and then to 80%, and then to 40%. Well, when my battery dies, I run away, I'm going crazy, obsessive. Well, I need a charger. Well, I'm not making a party, but okay. So the point is, that it's written in the Navi Yecheskel that Hashem say, all these punishments I wrote in the Torah, executions, it's not because I want to, chas v'shalom, execute anyone. No. I'm not interested to execute the dead. That's what it says in Navi Yecheskel. Ki lo achpotz b'mot hamet. I'm not interested to execute the dead person. He's already not connected to me. Once you are not connected with me, once your neshama doesn't get the light from me, you automatically dead spiritually. I'm not interested to add more to the problem. כי אם בשובו מדרכו הרעה וחי. I want him to make tshuva, to come back to me, that he should live. Meaning, what is he right now, according to Hashem? Not alive. He's dead, chas v'shalom. Spiritually, physically, he's making millions, he's happy, he's on the way to play golf now. But spiritually, he's declared dead by Hashem. So now, when we make averos, there is more layers of, it's called in Kabbalah klipot, like peel. Like you have an orange, you have a peel. You have to get rid of the peel to get to the orange. The more peels you have around it, the harder it is to get to the orange, right? So the same thing in the neshama. So we have to get rid of this klipot when we do tshuva, when we daven, when we correct our bad ways. Slowly, slowly, the layers of impurity are coming off until you break through. And the connection between the light of Hashem to the part of Hashem that is in you is the most significant thing in the whole creation. Because it's like connecting the charger into the source and receiving life spiritually. The problem is when a person, for instance, eats non-kosher food. That's one of the things that damage the soul the most and makes a lot of klipot around the neshama. Like the Torah says, "V'nitmetem bahem," Rashi writes, "Nitamtem bahem." You become spiritually dumb, not physically dumb. You can be a professor of a math, world champion in chess. You can be a very big doctor. But spiritually, once you eat non-kosher, you're unable to tell the difference between good and bad in the eyes of Hashem. What society declare as good and bad, you know very well. What Hashem declares as good and bad, you're already very confused. Why? Ma'achalot asurot. Also Shabbos and other things that we may do wrong, this is the consequences of our actions. So now, going back to what I started to explain. So according to the Gaon Mivilna, the purpose is really to impurify ourselves and to correct the midot. They asked the Gaon Mivilna 250 years ago, what's the purpose of life? He answered in one sentence, Tikuna midot ze kol ha'adam. The only reason Hashem put you here in another reincarnation and another one, and the neshama goes from one body to another again and again and again, what? To fix what you did not fix in your previous life. So whatever you already fix, you don't have desire to break the law in this field. For instance, if you were Shomer Shabbos in your previous life, and Hashem needed to send you back to the world in a new body, you don't have desire to be Mechalel Shabbos. It looks strange to you how people can be Mechalel Shabbos. You don't have the desire for it. But you may have the desire to speak Lashon Hara. Why? You have fear from Hashem. You know the Torah is real. You know that everything is built on the rules of Hashem. So why one Avera you are attracted to, but the other Avera you are disgusted by? How can it be? If you have Yirat Shamayim, you should be disgusted by everything. If you don't have Yirat Shamayim, you should not care about anything. But it's not the case. You can find a person that is a very, very big Machnis Orchim. The best hospitality. Every Shabbos, 30 people in his table. Thousands of dollars he pays for guests. At the same time, he's still non-stop in his business. How can there be such a contradiction? The answer is, hospitality, he was very good already in his previous life. He has no desire not to have guests. He loves it. But integrity and honesty in a business, that's something he failed. So he still have desire to make the same Avera. Same thing, modesty for women, same thing, learning Torah for men, and all the rest of the mitzvot. So according to the Gaon Mivilna, you got the Torah to teach you how to keep the mitzvot, to make you a better human being, respect your parents, etc. And the Rambam said the purpose is to keep the mitzvot. Why? We will never understand. It's the secrets of Hashem. Why Hashem cares that I take lulav and go like this? Do you think you understand? That Shlomo HaMelech for every mitzvah have 3,000 deep reasons. We don't even know 2-3 today. 3,000 te'amim for each mitzvah. The only mitzvah Shlomo HaMelech did not know the depth of that mitzvah was red cow. Meaning everything else he knew. 612 mitzvot, he can tell you all the reasons and all the secrets. This was only 3,000 years ago. And today we left with 1 or 2% of the knowledge. Where is this knowledge? Nobody knows 3,000 reasons for every mitzvah. If we know 3 or 4, wow, it's very impressive. Sometimes you hear a good speaker, he gives you 4 or 5 reasons for a mitzvah, and you are shocked. Wow, so many things I learned today. You don't know, there's still thousands that you don't know yet. Okay. So according to the Rambam, once you learn Torah, it melts your Yetzer Hara. Once your Yetzer Hara is on the way down, meaning is lowering right now, you are able right now to keep the mitzvot in a perfect way, which this is the tachlis, this is the purpose. I can give you an example from something that once happened to me. I used to give lectures in Queens in a place, and it was a weekly lecture, and the owner of the place, of this organization, had a policy not to allow anyone to come collect money in the middle of the lecture. You want to collect? Wait outside. Before or after the lecture, when people come in and out, collect. But not in the middle of the lecture. It disturbed the learning Torah, which makes sense. One time he surprised me. He walked in with a rabbi from Israel, and this rabbi is a Rosh Yeshiva from Yerushalayim, from Ramot, doesn't speak a word in English, Israeli rabbi. And the owner of the place came to me, whispered to me in the middle of the lecture, I know it's an exception to the rule, but I really had no choice. This rabbi doesn't speak a word in English, he's here for 2 weeks, he did not even pay for his ticket, for his airfare. If I won't help him, basically no one will, and his kollel will be closed in 10 days. If he does not get $20,000, he has 10 days to get $20,000. Please explain to the people about his kollel and the risk. And he did not know that half an hour before they showed up, out of nowhere I changed my entire topic and I spoke about the importance of supporting Torah in yeshivot. Hashem already prepared for him because he was already on the way. Since I spoke so strongly about tzedakah and how much we earn from it if we support Torah and Talmidei Chachamim, Amelei Torah and all that, that part they didn't know. So he came in, said, Shalom, Naim Meod. And I said, Rabotai, we have a Rav from Yeshiva in Yerushalayim. That I explained the whole problem. He had to see what happened there. In 1 minute, he collected $20,000. 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 1,000, 360, 1,800, up, $20,000. I say, Mazal Tov, Rabbi, you collect. He doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't know numbers, nothing. He never learned English. I say, Mazal Tov, Kvod Harav, you got everything you need. Ma? I say, you collected $20,000. Come on, don't make it, no, you're making fun. I say, no, I'm serious. In 1 minute like this? So yeah, what you don't know is Hashem made me prepare them half an hour before. So this is a perfect example to what the Rambam said. Once you learn Torah, it kills the Yetzer Hara for the time being. So if you are not such a generous person, but you come to a 2-hour strong lecture about charity, it kills your Yetzer Hara for X amount of time. So now all of a sudden you pledge a lot. Then you go home and you cry for a week. Once you go back to your normal day. But the power of the Torah shut the Yetzer Hara almost completely. So those who are constantly learning supposed not to have any Yetzer Hara for nothing. Mamash, it's purified them to such a point that they can focus in the highest level of keeping mitzvot. So now we are entering Shavuot, and Hashem told us something in the Torah. If you decided to leave me, just at least continue to learn my Torah. The light of the Torah will always bring you back to the truth. There's no other learning in life that can change the person from what he was to something much better. The Torah has this power. Now I want to ask you a few questions. With your help, maybe we can understand what Shavuot is. First question is, what did we get in Har Sinai? What did Hashem give us in Har Sinai? I'm sure you celebrated many holidays of Shavuot until today, but did you ever know what we really got in Har Sinai? What did we really get in Har Sinai? I can give you a hint. Shavuot is called Chag Matan Torah, but we never got the Torah on Shavuot. Moshe Rabbeinu just went up to the mountain on Shavuot. Then he came back 40 days later in 17 Betamuz. He saw the Chet HaEgel, the golden calf. He broke the first commandment. And then he went up for another 80 days. And officially, the journey back into earth from Har Sinai, which his neshama was in Shamayim, ended in Yom Kippur. So Yom Kippur should have been officially Chag Matan Torah. Why we celebrate Shavuot? Why Vav B'Sivan? You know the story, right? Moshe Rabbeinu gathered everyone around Mount Sinai. Hashem said 3 days no relationship. No male, female, don't, al tikshu elisha, purify your clothes, put everything in a mikveh. Why al tikshu elisha? What's the problem? What's the problem? We're not Christian. In Christianity, intimacy, it's something not clean and not holy. But in Judaism, it's the holiest level. Connection between husband and his wife in purity, according to the rules of the Torah, is very high level. So why we have to be ashamed of? We're not. The Torah speaks about it. The Gemara is full of it. All the Chachamim discussed it. There's many books speaking about this. We are not Christian. By Christian, you want to be holy, you're not allowed to marry. Stay single for the rest of your life. You want to be a priest. But it's contradicting the rules of the Torah. First mitzvah in the Torah, you must get married and have children. It's first mitzvah. So why Hashem say 3 days before Matan Torah not to have any relation between husbands and wife? For 3 days separation. That's called shlosha yemei agbala, meaning limitations. Why is it? Because after a person is with his wife, for 3 days, after they were together, that the sperm is still considered sperm. After 3 days, it's lose the value. It cannot anymore create life. So those 3 days that Hashem says, 3 days do not do it, because chas v'shalom, it can make the woman impure if it comes out. Because of that, there is a separation. Not because it's not holy. Just because of the timing. So Hashem prepared us for Chag Matan Torah, and all of a sudden, He comes on Har Sinai, ביום השלישי, ביות הבוקר, early in the morning, in the third day, they begin to hear voice of shofar, fire all over, cloud. Hashem comes be'anan, in a cloud. The floor is shaking. Try to close your eyes and imagine what happened there. All of you were there, by the way. Maybe in different bodies, but you were all there. If you're Jewish, you were there. So you're supposed to remember it. So you stand over there and you hear a very loud siren, voice of shofar, but not shofar in a shul that 50 people hear. Shofar that the whole world is listening to. It's very, very loud. Breaks the ears. And the floor is shaking and fire is huge. And it's early in the morning. Everyone is shaking from fear. Hashem gives the Torah with lots of fear. Fear, even though in today's generation it became something negative in the eyes of many Jews, but in the Torah it's the greatest thing. Torah, Hashem said, "Ve'areta me'elokecha," I want you to fear me. I'm not your friend from college, with all due respect. You have to fear me. And fear is the greatest motivation to change. Because when a person knows there's a price to pay, it's worth it for him to change, because he doesn't want to be penalized. He doesn't want to pay. So as a result of that, it brings him back to the right track. And later on, when he gets his huge reward, who does he thank to? To the fear aspect. Without it, I will never change. So it's actually the greatest thing that Hashem gave us as a push to the right direction. By the way, you should know, if you analyze your life from the day you remember yourself until this moment, you did not have even 1 minute in your life that you were not afraid of something. Some people afraid of the IRS, some people of their husbands, some of their wives, some of the army, some of terrorists, some of the neighbor, of the children, of the drug epidemic, of the divorce epidemic, of the cancer epidemic, every little pain. Oh my God, I hope it's not this. So there are so many things that scares us in our life. Cameras everywhere, police everywhere, financial problems, customers don't come into the store, what's going to happen next month, the house, we didn't get permit. There's so many problems I hear every day on a daily basis that I wonder to myself, with millions of problems like this and so much fear in life, no one complains. The only time people complain about the fear aspect is when it comes to Torah or mitzvot. Did you wonder why? Why is it? Everyone feel okay that chas v'shalom, sicknesses, it's a part of life. Bankruptcies, it's part of life. Poverty, parts of life. Staying single, part of life. Not having kids, part of life. There's so many things in life. We know it's a part of the life, that's it. We pray to Hashem, we want good and all the things, but Hashem knows what's good for us more than what we know. But when it comes to religion, to be the right way and to keep the right mitzvot, we have very strong resistance when it comes with fear. Why? Because in every other fear there's no Yetzer Hara. Only here, when it's a mitzvah to fear Hashem and the Torah, the Yetzer Hara come into place. Come on, don't be fanatic, you crazy. Hashem doesn't want you to fear Him. That's not the right way, and that's how it goes. But everywhere else, no Yetzer Hara. That's why we live with that. We accept it. Well, when it comes to the most important thing in life, all of a sudden we get very nervous. We don't want to hear it. Be polite, be nice. Darkei noam. Please don't scare me. I didn't want to be intimidated. Because this is the Yetzer Hara that fools us like this. Because that's his genius. Yetzer Hara is a genius. He's here for a long, long time. He knows every person how to fool him. Every person has a weakness. What do you think? If you're a very generous person, the Yetzer Hara will come and tell you not to give tzedakah? You know he has no chance. He will come to you with what he can get. If you're not modest, he will come with modesty. If you're a very modest woman, he's not going to convince you to wear pants. It's not going to work. He's not going to waste his time. He will only come to you with what it's a weakness in your life. So now, going back to my question. Now we have this floor is shaking. We hear the first two commandments. אנוכי השם אלוקיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים. לא יהיה לכם אלוקים אחרים על פניי. The first two commandments, everybody heard Hashem. What happened then? From this moment, what happened? This is Shavuot holiday. We're discussing now Shavuot, what happened? Everybody got so afraid that their neshama came out of the body. It's a clinical death. They started to scream, to cry to Moshe, please, no! No, we don't want to hear anymore. You go up to the mountain and speak to God. We don't want to hear it. So Moshe had to calm them down. So relax, Hashem is not here to harm you. He's only testing you. What's the connection to test? What's the connection to test? The way that the Torah was given to us, it was a test. Why? Would you keep his mitzvot or not? That's why it's strict now. It comes with you with fire and voice and everything is shaking. Why? Because it makes some kind of a trauma in your subconscious. That you don't want to rebel against this Hashem. Okay. So Moshe goes up to the mountain. Then what? Nothing else happened. This is Shavuot. And that's what we celebrate. Why we eat dairy on Shavuot? I'm sure all of you has tons of recipe ready. But can you explain to your guests why you're serving them dairy? Because Yom Tov you're supposed to eat meat and drink wine. What's dairy has to do with Yom Tov?
Torah is like halal.
Huh?
Torah is like halal, the life force. The way the mother gives milk, so the Torah gives us.
Very nice. That's not what I had in mind. I'm not saying it's not true. I just have something else in mind. Let's see if one of you would say what I have in mind. Yeah.
They didn't learn the laws of Shliach.
You're almost accurate. Almost. No?
The milk comes from the life and...
She said that. That's exactly what she said. Which not necessarily is incorrect.
What they said, we didn't hear a word.
So they give an example how the milk come from the cow, from the mother, so the Torah, okay. But I have a different answer completely. Yes?
They didn't know the laws of kosher.
Oh, that's what she said. All right, so we have 2 against 2. Very good. We're dividing to groups here. Okay, I'll tell you the reason. The reason is that when they found out that all the meat that they prepared for the Yom Tov was all slaughtered with a regular knife. Up to now, they didn't know that there is such thing, shchita, and you have to check the knife and check the long, make sure there's no holes, nothing is broken inside. They didn't have these rules. So as immediately when they found out that all the meat that they prepared is not kosher, there was one problem. There was no Arabs there. Now we have a solution. You call Muhammad, kif halak, yeah. Come, we have 3 cows. Halal meat. Pay us how much it costs to raise the cow, take the cow. And the Arab sell it. Why? Because the Arab does not have Torah shebe'al peh. They don't have oral laws. The Arab reads in the Torah that you have to slaughter the animals in the neck. That's it. Where, how, what knife, doesn't matter. You slaughter, it's not nevela. We eat it. That's how they think. But we have the oral Torah, which is the main thing in Judaism. 99.9% of Judaism is the oral Torah. The written Torah is a very, very small drop of Judaism. Everything is oral Torah. You cannot keep one mitzvah without Torah shebe'al peh. In a written Torah, you don't even have one description how to keep any of the mitzvot. Nothing. You don't know. There's no rules. How to keep Shabbos, it doesn't say. How to respect your parents, it doesn't say. How to do Brit Milah, it only say to cut the orla, but how and when and this, by whom, it does not say. How to make matzot, it doesn't say. How to prepare tefillin, there's more than 1,000 steps to make tefillin. 1,000 steps. Where is it in written Torah? It only says one sentence. והיה לאות על ידיך ולטוטפות בין עיניך. What kind of ot? Ot, it's a sign. Maybe Hashem meant tattoo. Maybe he meant some kind of a band to put on your hand or a watch. Which hand, where in the hand, what color, what's inside, how do you make it, from what animal. What is this ot? Nowhere in the written Torah. It's all in the oral Torah. Even where to do Brit Milah, it's not saying anything. You could have right away 5,000 different opinions when you have 3.5 million Jews. And now they have to decide where to cut. How many different Brit Milah you're going to have? 7 million. Because each one has 2 opinions. In case you say this, he will say the opposite. If you say the opposite, he will say this. He prepares with 2 opinions. Why? You know. So right away, you had everyone makes Brit Milah in a different way, but everybody makes Brit Milah in the same way. How come? Torah shebe'al peh. Everything verbal, oral Torah. Why Hashem gave us the Torah in such a way that 1% of it it's written, and 99% of it was going from mouth to mouth, from rabbi to student, from father to son, orally, verbally. Why? Why not to write everything? To prevent confusion. The answer is because first of all, if you write everything in one book, the size of the book will be the size of a semi-trailer. I couldn't even enter it to this large room. I need 50 people to carry the Torah. Imagine now you have some of this old Ashkenazi Torah from 60, 70 years ago when people used to be strong. You try to make akbah, you faint. It's so heavy. Now add hundreds more of Torah into that. Who would be able to pick it up? Nobody. Nobody would be able to move it. That's one reason, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is because if all the secrets of how to keep the mitzvot will be all in one book, it was translated to 70 languages right away by the Goyim. The Goyim will immediately imitate everything that the Torah say to the Jews to do. They all had beards, there was no Gillette back then. Everyone had a turban, so everyone would look like a Jew. What's the problem? We now know, it says in the Torah how to make tefillin. We make tefillin, we circumcise the babies, everything like the Jews. One day a person show up, hi, what's your name? Yosef. It was Yusuf, but now it's Yosef. Where are you from? I came from far away. You Jew? Of course. Look at my tefillin, look at my mezuzah, everything. Look at my babies, brit milah, tefillin, everything. In 1 to 2, maximum 3 generations, it will be destruction to the world. No one in the world will know if he's Jewish or not, because everyone would claim to be Jewish. Now prove to me you're Jewish. How can I prove to you? I keep all the mitzvot. But the Goyim would also know how to keep everything, so you wouldn't know who is who. Assimilation, intermarriage, the children are not Jewish, nobody would know if he's Jewish or not. Why keeping mitzvot all my life when I have 90% chance not to be a Jew? It would mess up the world. That's why Hashem forbid writing the oral Torah. You have to make sure it's a secret. Later on, Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi had no choice because they went to the exile and he realized, if I'm not going to write the Mishnah now, Judaism will be over, chas v'shalom. So later on he wrote it, but he wrote it in such a complicated language that only the big Chachamim would understand what he meant. Nobody understand it. Look, even the Amoraim, how many arguments they have to understand the Mishnah. That's how complicated he made it. So there's no chance the Goyim would understand the Mishnayot, because even the Chachamim already had difficulty understanding him. The reason he made it in such a way that Judaism will be kept only for the Jews as Hashem intended to in the beginning. So now, why we eat dairy? Once they realized that all the meat they prepared is not kosher, there was no time to slaughter the animal again. Get rid of the skin, put salt, wait for hours until the blood comes out, and then cut the meat, get rid of all the dirt, and then cook it. You need 2-3 days for that. There's no time. Soon it's holiday. They ran to the animals, they got all kinds of milk, and they had to prepare dairy food for 3,300 years. All Jews, Faradim, Ashkenazim, Temanim, everybody eats dairy. Why? Because when we got the Torah and we realized the food we prepared for Yom Tov is not kosher, there was no time to make food. The only thing you can make within an hour or two, it's dairy. You take milk and you make. That's it. This is the main reason for eating dairy. In Israel, there's one rabbi who speaks in a school in Tel Aviv, in a place when they are not exactly crazy about Judaism, to say the least. His rabbi asked him, how they let a rabbi like you with a black hat and a beard speak in a school in Tel Aviv when they don't allow Judaism there at all? How they let you even in to speak? Every Friday you speak 10 minutes to the student, 400 Israeli kids. How did you get in? He said, I came on Erev Shavuot to the principal and I told her, would you let me speak 10 minutes to the kids about Shavuot? So she said, what do you think? We're not Jewish? We also teach about Shavuot. He said, yeah, I'm sure you do, but I'm going to teach them some secrets, some Kabbalistic ideas. For instance, why we eat dairy on Shavuot, do you know? So that sounds interesting. But I know why you came here. Come on, Rabbi, don't fool me. Your intention is to make the kids here frum, which that's exactly what we're afraid of. We don't want it. So how do I assure myself that you're not going to take the stage and start preach to them about keeping Shabbat? He said, if you want, I will sign to you on a paper, a guarantee, and I will not preach anything to keep mitzvot, only I speak about Shavuot. That's a true story. It happened a few years ago in Israel. So she said, okay, if you sign, I'll let you speak for 10 minutes. But 10 minutes, 100%. He signed, no problem, go, speak 10 minutes. They gather 400 kids in Tel Aviv, and he spoke for 9 minutes. He had 1 minute left. So once he finished, he said to them, kids, there is something else in Shavuot. Do you know, by the way, who wrote Tehillim? 400 Israeli kids. Everyone looks at him. Like, what do you want from our life? Who wrote Tehillim, he asked them. High school in Tel Aviv. Nobody knew. So he said, let me give you a hint. David, everybody scream, Ben Gurion! You're laughing, you should be crying. I know it's funny, but it's very sad. It shows that we have a lot of work of kiruv still to do. But that's how she was so embarrassed that she allowed him now to come every Friday and speak 10 minutes. Out of the embarrassment. So he said to her, you have to agree that giving me 10 minutes a week to speak about Judaism, it's not the end of the world. Okay, you made your point. Come every Friday, 10 minutes. Who knows what's going to come out of it? So, what did we get in Mount Sinai? When Moshe Rabbeinu came after 80 days, after he broke the 10 Commandments, there is machloket what he did. Did he go up to the mountain right away on the 18th of Tammuz for another 40 days until Rosh Chodesh Elul? Or he only went to Ohel Moed and davened 40 days for forgiveness? And then Hashem called him up on Rosh Chodesh Elul. He went up to Har Sinai. He stayed there for 40 days. In the 40th days Hashem told him, Salachti kidvarecha. This day will be a day of repentance forever. And Moshe Rabbeinu came down, and it's written in the Torah, Vayhi mimachorat hayom, vayeshev Moshe lishpot et ha'am. The next day, already he was sitting in a bed din, having cases of people suing each other. But he brought the second commandment, which were not as great as the first one. Why? Because the first one, the tablets were made by Hashem. The second one, Hashem already said to Moshe, go prepare the tablets. Psol lecha. Meaning it's not as great as the first one. But, Baruch Hashem, it's still the 10 Commandments. So what did we get all together? Okay, now Yom Kippur finished. What the nation of Israel had in their hands when Moshe finished with Har Sinai and he came down for good, what did we have? Please tell me. What did he have? Huh? So he had the 10 Commandments, the second one. What else? The oral Torah, all of it? Or some of it?
All of it.
All of it, very good. Another V. And what about the written Torah? Did he have the whole scroll? 304,805 letters? Huh?
No.
Did he have the whole thing?
No.
If you say yes, we run into a huge problem. What is the problem?
They knew what was going to
They already see in the Torah what's going to happen to them. Next month, next year, in 5 years. Korach, see, he reads in the Torah. Oh my gosh. How am I going to do such things? What is going to happen? I better lock myself in a cage. You know, I don't want to be swallowed by the earth. It's not realistic. So what happened? What did we get?
Up until Matan Torah.
Very good. Up to Parashat Yitro. The Torah, only half of it was given. Up to Matan Torah. From Matan Torah until the end of Sefer Dvarim, when was it written? When? Little by little, in a period of 40 years. Every once in a while, Hashem called Moshe to Ohel Moed, and he showed him background was fire, and the letters were black, running on fire. And Moshe was writing it down. Little bit more, little bit more. After the event already happened, After the event took place, every once in a while, Moshe wrote another piece of the Torah. The last day of his life, he wrote 13 Torah scrolls in one day, which today takes over a year to write one, if you're a fast sofer. So it should have been 13 years of work, minimum. But in one day it happened in a very big miracle. Everything obviously is miracles. You cannot write 13 Sifrei Torah in one day. One he gave to each tribe, one he put in Arona Edut. If one day you have mistake, you know where to compare it to and fix your mistake. I have one question for you, something for you to think between now and Shavuot. Maybe you give me the answer. We know that the first Shavuot was on Shabbat. The first Matan Torah was on Shabbat. How did Moshe write Sifrei Torah on Shabbat? If you write, I don't have to tell you, it's Chilul Shabbat. How did he write Sifrei Torah on Shabbos? Something for your homework. I gave you homework. Until next time we meet, you come up with the answer. Since I have 2-3 minutes left, so with your permission, with your permission.
So what did we get on Shavuot?
Huh?
What did we get on Shavuot?
Shavuot, we only heard Hashem saying the first 2 commandments and we got nothing. Moshe went up to the mountain, he came down with the 10 commandments, he saw the golden calf and he broke it. There was 17 Tammuz, 17 of Tammuz. The question here, Hashem already told Moshe Rabbeinu when he was up in a mountain that the Erev Rav, the Amcha, Red Ki Shichet Amcha, these Egyptians that you took out of Mitzrayim and you converted them based on your own will without consulting with me, they're already making a parody of Avodah Zarah. Red Ki Shichet Amcha, that's the first and only time that Hashem referred to the nation of Israel, your nation. From here Chazal learned that it wasn't really the Jews, it was these Egyptians that are used to worship animals. This was their God. Erev Rav, and the Zohar say horrible things about this Erev Rav, that we're going to suffer from them until the end of days. Until the end of days. Oh, very good. We have to. I got confused. One second. So the question that I have here, Hashem already told Moshe that there is a big Avodah Zarah down there. But Moshe only broke the commandment once he went down and saw it. Well, you don't believe Hashem? Hashem told you there's horrible things happening. Why you didn't break the commandments right there? Only when he saw it, he broke the commandments. What's the answer? 2 answers. One, he wanted to make a point. Look what you're losing. And second, Chazal explained that when you hear something and when you see something, it's totally different level. In English they say one picture equal like 1,000 words, make it 1,000,000. One picture, listen to what I say. I don't know why in English they say 1,000 words, it should be millions of words. Why? Because when you see the room, I walked into this room for the first time in my life. If you hypnotize me later on, I'm going to tell you millions of details about this room. Every line, every bump on the thing, every picture, what the pictures say, the phone over there, the stickers, the door, the notes, everything I'll be able to know. If you ask me now, I probably won't see anything. But if you hypnotize me later on, I'm going to tell you everything that exists in this room, include if there is some dirt on the floor. Millions of things. Millions. Why? One picture can be described in millions of words. But Hashem divides the brain to conscious and subconscious. I have a whole lecture about it. All the not urgent things go to the subconscious. What we need for the daily or weekly basis go to the conscious. What we will need once in a while, go to the subconscious. The neshama, and we finish by this, the soul of a person records every little detail. From the first reincarnation until the last one, billions and trillions of details, every voice, every person who hung in Manhattan on the street when you walk there, every conversation nearby you which you never paid attention to, everything is recorded in your neshama. Everything you looked at and when you're not supposed to look, like the Torah said not to look, but you did look, and now you did tshuva and you already forgot about it. If I hypnotize you and we go to that date, it's 100% in your neshama. Recorded for eternity. There's no way to erase. Every little thing. You understand? Everything that ever happened in all the lives is recorded. That's why some people have all kinds of trauma, panic attack, anxiety attack. Some girls don't want to date guys. What happened? She has some kind of fear. Nobody understands why, from previous life. All kinds of things that we have in this life, it's all a continuation from our previous lives. And Chazal and the Kabbalah, they say that Mordechai and Esther was a gift to Shaul HaMelech for his modesty. How many years Hashem waited to give him the gift? 500 years. Only 500 years later, Shaul HaMelech got his reward for being a modest person. Mordechai and Esther was 500 years later. It's unbelievable how the reincarnations are all connected. Once you know that, everything in life makes sense. Then you begin to understand what's going on here. Without it, it's very difficult to understand. I have a lot more to say, but time ran out. Maybe I allow 1 or 2 questions if you have. Any questions? Yes, right there.
I just need a little clarification. You said that they only got the first 2 dibros on Shavuot.
They heard the first 2, yes.
So how did they know that the law of Shechita? When did they get that?
How did they know the law of Shechita in Shavuot? Okay, remember, when Hashem, the laws of Shechita, it's a very good question actually. No, it's a very good question, because how did they know that Shavuot? Maybe the next one they already knew. Maybe, after Moshe came for the next one. But the answer I gave you, I didn't make it up. It comes from the books. We have to see a good answer for your good question. Any more questions? Oh, very good question. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned that all the non-Jews were practicing. If everybody was practicing and you couldn't distinguish between Jew and non-Jew, and isn't that what Hashem wants? All of us to be alike to nations, so that all, so Torah.
Noach, even though they kept all the mitzvot, they asked how Avraham kept Shabbat. It wasn't officially a Jew yet, it was only an Hebrew. When we became Jewish in Matan Torah, and officially when we got the Torah, we became Jewish. Like it's written in the Torah, Yom hazeh niyeta le'am. Today you became my nation. After the Torah was given, the Torah calls us the children of Hashem. Before that, we are now banim atem laHashem Elokechem. So if a goy comes and he looks like a Jew, but he never had a conversion, you would not know. You go and you marry him. Or if it's a girl, you marry the girl, and here you have children, and none of them are Jewish. And you don't know, because they think they're Jewish, and because the woman that pretended to be a Jew never had a conversion. So now, after 5-10 generations, you're going to have million non-Jews among us. Nobody would know if he's Jewish or not, because the Goyim already have everything they need to pretend they're Jewish. But right now, if they want to pretend they're Jewish, they don't know. They don't know all the laws. They have to prepare for conversions. Yes, right here. Shh. Just for the question, if you can keep it a little bit lower.
Before Matan Torah, Hashem tried to give the Torah to everybody, they refused.
Yes.
Now, why after the Matan Torah, they don't want to do that?
Okay. The minority of every nation, not all the Goyim did not want to accept the Torah. The majority of the Goyim of every nation voted against to accept the Torah. But the minority of them wanted to accept the Torah. The Holy Zohar say that all these Goyim who wanted to accept the Torah, Hashem sends them back in a new body in a future generation and give them the opportunity to convert. All the converts you see, pay attention, almost all of them from the children of Esav. you don't find almost at all from the children of Ishmael. It's very interesting. The Zohar also say it, that all the converts will be not from Ishmael. You see it. And even if you see here and there some Arabs that convert, even if you see some Arabs that convert, if you check 10 generations before, you found out that their parents were Europeans or went to Syria or to some place. Now, since you mention it, I'm going to give you another question for homework, and I send you home with something to think about. It says that Hashem offered the Torah to all the Goyim. Which Torah He offered the Goyim? Which Torah? The whole Torah is Zecher L'Yetziat Mitzrayim. Without the exodus of Egypt, you don't have the commandments, you don't have Shabbat, you don't have Tefillin, you don't have Kiddush. It's all Zecher. You don't eat matzah, you don't have Tefillin, you don't have Brit Milah. Everything is Zecher L'Yetziat Mitzrayim. What would happen if the Japanese say, yes, we want to get the Torah? Which Torah Hashem would give them? Ani Hashem Elokechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim? So Mr. Ichigawa in Japan would say, excuse me Hashem, you didn't take me out of Mitzrayim. You brought me from Taiwan to Japan. But I was not in Egypt. So what Torah Hashem would give the Goyim? Huh? Which one?
What's the answer?
I have a whole lecture about it. But I don't want to upset the rabbit and she told me 50 minutes. Thank you very much. Good Chodesh. Anyone who wants CD, follow me to the driveway.
I have a question.
Yes.
So